Hello students. In this lesson of programming using C, we will learn about strings. An array of characters or collection of characters is called a string. In C language, a string is a group of characters which is determined by delimiter. Thus C uses variable length delimited strings in program. Declaring strings. C does not support string as a data type. It allows us to represent data as character arrays. In C, a string variable is an valid C variable name. It is always declared as an array of characters. The syntax is shown on the screen along with an example. Input output of strings. C language provides several string handling functions for input and output. String input output function. C provides two basic methods to read and write strings using formatted input output function using a special set of instructions. First we will learn about reading strings from terminal. Formatted input function. Scanf can be used as %s format specification to read a string. Example is shown on the screen. Here, don't use and or because name of string is a pointer to array. The problem with scanf is that it terminates its input on the first white space it finds. For example, New York reads only new. Unformatted input functions. Get char, it is used to read a single character from keyword. Using this function repeatedly, we may read entire line of text. Example is shown on the screen. Gettys, it is more convenient method of reading a string of text including blank spaces. Example is shown on the screen. Writing strings on the screen using formatted output functions. Printf with %s format specifier, we can print strings in different formats on the screen. For example, using unformatted output functions, put character, it is used to print a character on the screen. Example is shown on the screen. Put s, it is used to print strings including blank spaces. String handling functions. C supports a number of string handling functions. All of these built-in functions are aimed at performing various operations on strings and they are defined in the header file string.h. strlen. This function is used to find the length of the string excluding the null character. Example is shown on the screen. strcpy. This function is used to copy one string to the other. If string 1 contains master and string 2 contains madam, then string 1 holds madam after execution of the strcpy function. Example is shown on the screen. strcmp. This function compares two strings character by character and returns one of three values. The numeric difference is 0 if strings are equal. If it is negative, string 1 is alphabetically above string 2. If it is positive, string 2 is alphabetically above string 1. Example is shown on the screen. strcat. This function is used to concatenate two strings and it appends one string at the end of the specified string. If string 1 and string 2 are one-dimensional character arrays, it adds the string 2 to 1 string 1 and string 1 contains the final concatenated string. Example is shown on the screen. Array of strings. A string is a 1D array of characters, so an array of strings is a 2D array of characters. Just like we can create a 2D array of int, float, etc., we can also create a 2D array of characters or array of strings. Here is how we can declare a 2D array of characters. The first subscript of the array, that is 3, denotes the number of strings in the array and second subscript denotes the maximum length of the string. Recall that in C, each character occupies 1 byte of data. So when the compiler sees the above statement, it allocates 30 bytes of memory. This was it about strings. Thank you.